Hey, what's up guys, Just Boost here and welcome back to another One Piece gameplay video. Today we have a matchup between myself playing Doflamingo for pretty much the first time. I think this is like the 4th or 5th time I ever play this deck, actually, with the first time being like yesterday, at the time of recording, against Bonney, which I think is supposed to be not such a good matchup, but I'm not super familiar with Doflamingo's matchup spread. Actually, although I do know it's supposedly pretty good, because if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be the best deck, right? But yeah, I won the die war here, didn't mulligan, and opted to go first, even considering that I'm not really sure if that's correct against Bonney or not. Didn't mulligan, and then my opponent did mulligan, and I'm starting off with Perona here, and taking my time to stack the deck correctly, of course. But yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments down below how you think my Doffy gameplay is. I think it's like, I suppose, halfway decent, but probably not as good as it could be. But I really wanted to try the deck because I think it's pretty fun. There's, you just have a lot of lines with this deck. It's very consistent, so what's not to like, right? And I also think the matchup with Bonney is pretty interesting. But yeah, I stack the deck with the Perona, and that's it for my first turn. And now my opponent's going to play out Baby 5. So look at the top 5 for a Donquitoxe Pirates card and add it to your hand. And then if it sticks on the field, you can use it again, right? But since I did play the Perona at the first turn, the Perona is probably going to swing into it. And then I can also swing with Leader since there's no Don open for the Bonney, and I think he adds the 10-drop Doflamingo to his hand here. And here I will go attach to Don, swing, rest at Don, and play out the 2k Law, actually. So that's pretty interesting. I suppose the top 5 cards weren't that good, but this is not the worst, right? And now I use the effect to add it to my hand, and then my opponent has to bottom deck one of his cards, since he did have 6 or more cards in his hand. And he had 7, if I remember correctly. Because he took the life and he didn't lose a card during the first turn after he played the Baby 5. So now the Bonney is going to swing into the Perona, and he's going to play out the Bartolomeo blocker, which isn't played that commonly, I think. It's the one that says during your turn, if you rest one of your characters with a card effect, you can draw a card and discard a card. So basically it's just a consistency piece, and it's a blocker as well. So pretty good. Here I go to 5 Dawn, and I just swing 5 with Leader. He counters out with Carrot, which I'm not sure if it is correct. He probably has another one, because Carrot is one of the best cards in the Doffy matchup, I'm pretty sure. And here I go, Weevil. And then I play out, is it Buggy? Just look at the top 3 and rearrange the deck. And you cannot bottom deck, which is something I learned pretty recently, actually. So yeah, stack the top 3 and then just pass turn with the Weevil and the Buggy on the field against the Barto blocker. So now Bonney is going to go to 6 Don, which means he's probably going to be able to play out either a Cavendish or a Carrot. And yeah, he plays out the Cavendish, right? Because there is no point in playing out the Carrot in this current game state, since I don't have anything rested. Even though I guess it is set up for the next turn if he wants to play out another card on the 8 Don turn. But and then he plays out the blocker Rosinante, the prevent destruction one, basically, but that's not super relevant in this matchup, I feel. So let's see, we did stack the deck with the Buggy. So we'll see what's if we're going to. So probably not going to use the Leader effect here, since I'm going to swing 7k first with the Weevil. And oh right, so I keep the 6 on open for the Josu, which bounces the Cavendish, which is very, very strong. I think Josu is definitely one of the best cards in this specific matchup. I think it's really great in the format in general. Very, very good against BY as well, which is the main reason for running it, right? And then it's also pretty good in a mirror match. Just a big body that you can't out with Lal. So it's probably gonna stick to the field. 7k can trade with the 4-cost bodies pretty well. And basically the only outs are either opponent's Jozu or Gravity Blade. So yeah, pretty rough spot for him, I think, here. I guess if Carrot comes down here, that's not... I guess he could go Cavendish Carrot if he has both those cards now in the hand, but he doesn't. So now he's going to swing 7 at leader. Or is it at the Weevil? Probably at the Weevil, actually. So that's gonna take a 2k to protect it. Which I do have here in Crocodile. And then, oh, we do have Carrot. And then he does get to keep the 1-Don open for the leader effect. So, yeah, probably a better line than the Cavendish into Carrot. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think you could go either way. And the Cavendish into Carrot is a better setup for the remainder of the game. And also, if I have a second Jozu now, it's going to be very rough. Where if you played out both, then at least one of them is going to stick to the field. But I guess it depends. It's hard to say, right? Because people are really playing a lot of a different amount of Jozus. I think you see pretty much anywhere from 2 to 4. I was actually thinking about it today. Like, it's pretty weird that Jozu wasn't played in this deck at all in the East for a really long time. Until someone put this card in, and it's just very, very good. Definitely think it's one of the best cards in the deck, actually. It does depend on the format, though. Like, if it's like here with BY being very popular, then it's pretty much just a solution for that, I feel. Anyway, we see a pretty big thing here. The Weevil stayed rested because of Carrot, and there are 2 blockers on the field. Being able to out the Carrot here would be very nice, but I mean, with Gravity Blade and yeah, either Gravity Blade or Jozu does solve it. But we'll see. I'm not really sure what's in my hand. I don't remember. Really doing a big thing here, though. About what the line is. Looks like it's probably not go... Oh, it might actually be Gravity Blade. Because we are at 9 Don, I think. It looks like I'm setting up 2 of the Don apart. Or maybe just figure out what like the most efficient way is to go for a play with the Jozu. And we know my opponent is going to 10 on the next turn. So we will be able to drop the Doffy. So it looks like we're again not going to go for a leader. Just go 7 into life. He doesn't use any of the blockers up to counter out. I play out Sengoku. So going to look at the top 5 to add a Warlord to the hand. And it's Teach, I think. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see with them matte sleeves, so I'm sorry about that. That leaves us with 8 Don. So yeah, Jozu coming down here. Going to bounce the Carrot and the Weevil to the hand, actually. That's interesting. And then probably use the last 2 Don for Teach, yeah. That makes sense. Good setup for the next turn. Even though the Doffy is gonna hurt here, right? Because it is going to lock our leader. But just having Teach on the field is okay, I think. Especially since Bonney can't really interact with it outside of playing Hody Jones. Which I think if he does that at this point here, that's fine, right? Well, I actually opted to try to play the Zoro here, which I'm not sure is correct as opposed to the Doffy. I feel like playing out Doffy here is probably a little stronger than try to pressure me next turn with leader swing into Doffy and then play out the Zoro. I feel that's a little bit better. Because if you play out the Zoro, like most likely the Doffy won't have an answer to it outside of Red Rock, which I think is not that popular. I'm not playing it in my list. And then you still have the Don open. And you can try to push with the Zoro. Especially since I'm still at 4 life at this point. I don't really feel like the Zoro is going to make that much of a... Like, you can't really push for game next turn, right? I mean, you could go 5 leader, Hody Jones, Zoro. No, it doesn't work. So I would definitely think 4 life is too much to try this. So Gravity Blade to bottom deck both the blockers, then going to go Teach, stack something to the top deck. We know something is gonna get arrested by the leader. Probably one of the Josus, right? Has to be, unless he really wants to out the Teach, but don't really see that happening. Now leader swing, use the effect, swing for 8, play out. Is it Jinbei? He rests one of the Josus, like I said. Play out Weevil, draw a card. And yeah, he's going to take the 8, so that puts him to, is it 2 life? And then another AK swing with the other Josu, which will put him to 1 if it does connect. Which it does, so yeah, that's rough. Now basically I would assume he's just going to pressure. I'm not sure actually what he's going to do. Could go either way. Even here playing out the Doffy wouldn't be the worst thing, depending on how much counter he has in hand, because it can stun the Josu, and yeah, it could potentially stun both the Josus and leader, I would say. Yeah, it's really hard to say, to be honest, if that would work or not. So it's gonna swing 7 into leader, which are up to not counter. Right now he could potentially go attack tries with the Zoro, which puts me to 0 life, which forces me to go for game next turn, I suppose. But there is a lot of bodies on the board, so probably going to try to clear my field here. I think I have like 6 cards in hand. Actually, probably I do remember he's going to go for board, and now thinking about it, probably it's better to first go for board with the Zoro effect. Yeah, it would have been way better to put 2 Don on the Zoro and then just swing into my field with the Zoro 3 times. Would be way more Don efficient and have like a much bigger chance of actually outing my field. And I might have actually lost then, because now he's going to swing 9 to Josu. I get to counter with 2k, 1k. He's going to try it again. And restand after this, I think. So yeah, I counter, he's going to restand. I think he forgets, yeah, I forgot the Don. I have 2 cards left in hand, and now I think he's going to swing into the Josu again, and that's finally gonna work. And then the carrot is going to stun the Jinbei, but now he's left with no Don open, so he definitely should have just swung 6 first, or do the thing with the 2 Don under the Zoro. Both would have been better lines, because now he cannot use the he's not going to stun the Jinbei, but the Josu, of course, that's much better. But yeah, I definitely think either just swinging 6 with leader and then doing this line, or just using... It probably would have been the best, probably would have been just put 1 Don under the Zoro and then just start swinging, so you can keep the 1 Don open for the carrot and 1 for leader effect as well. And I think if that happens, I'm like in a pretty tough spot, especially since I did discard like my entire hand to save my Josu. Then again, I probably wouldn't have done that if he swung 10 instead of 9. Because if I remember correctly, I did only have double 2k. So I definitely only counted out because I knew I could protect the Josu twice, essentially. Now just kind of thinking, and I feel like I still have to go for game here, because he does have the carrot, Zoro, and Bonney swings next turn, and I do only have 3 life, so I probably, yeah, I lose on the spot for sure if I don't go for it. But if he did the thing I just said, he would have been in a way better position. Even if I think that playing out the Zoro is not bad, so I'm going to go swing 9 here, which he takes, which means I'm going to go 12 with leader, probably, right? Or you could go like 7-10 with Jinbei leader. Doesn't really matter that much. I don't think. Yeah, I think at this point I'm just thinking what the best way is. But I think, actually I'm not sure what I'm thinking about, because I feel like 12 is probably the only line. Oh, if I remember correctly, I think I had boa in hand, which I was considering maybe playing out the boa. And then, but there is no way I survive. So again, I do have to go for game here, which I probably will at any moment. Yes, there we go, 12, which is gonna be game. Spoilers. So yeah, that's Doffy versus Bonney. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. And if you do, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And also let me know what you thought of my gameplay. Bye.